Divine executive order. Divine executive order. Divine executive order. We have serious business today. I have been alerted. Well, I did a video prior to that, probably about a year ago. Pardon me. Yeah, let's see how to put this. I already know. Yo, what the fuck? Turn the fuck down. I already know how the occult works. The satanic occult practices work. Not all the way. Obviously, the great God didn't. The great God wants this vessel, or whatever timelines wanted this vessel blind, deaf, unable to see the evil in the world. That was this vessel's life plan, because this vessel would be too overwhelmed by you evil motherfuckers. You got that right. This vessel probably wouldn't be able to do the dirty work of the great God, universal Allah, if this vessel was able to see and hear from you evil fucking vermin. So, the great God, universal Allah, scripted this vessel as deaf, dumb, and blind to the world. Praise who Allah, praise who Allah, praise who Allah. A universal disclosure. Absolutely. I am in my evil form, but that is only because of you, motherfucker. It is only because of you, evil motherfucker, that I have to manifest in an evil motherfucking form because of you. So, if we're gonna do, who's we? Who's we? Infinity. Infinity is not all positive polarity. The great God has the most Leviathan. There's a timeline. Leviathan is on call. Leviathan is waiting to be summoned by the great God, universal Allah. No man can tame this beast. These are, again, your father Satan is on call not just me. Well, we ain't gonna say it like that, but it's on great God, universal Allah has vessels appointed for this dirty work. Great God is not getting dirty with this earth shit. Earth being at such a low frequency, age of Pisces, right? You think the great God Allah just merely sits to be worshipped. And you know what? That's where you cannot take a drug. You cannot take a drug on this motherfucking planet that could compare to just being in the presence of the great God, universal Allah. It's not even words to explain it. So what does the great God, universal Allah, gotta come down here, all these dimensions down? Most of these places on earth are the dimensions of Gehenna. Most of these places on earth, because 99% of human vessels on this earth have been subject to some form of oppression. The great God, universal Allah, gotta come down all these It's not, listen, gotta come down all these dimensions to be governing this shit show. Yeah, right. So the great God has these vessels. I vessel to get down and dirty. Down and dirty, rolling around in the mud with you fucking swine, you fucking pigs. And it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to jump in the mud with you guys, roll around with you pigs and swines, and get dirty until there's not a speck of dust on our earth. That is a pleasure. The shit it feels like hell. This is hell. I can truly say that through experience. This is hell for majority of the human vessels. On this earth vessel, which this is why I fight. This is why I fight mercilessly for our Mother Earth. The great God, Universal Allah is sitting pretty. The great God, Universal Allah is sitting pretty. The great God, Universal Allah, listen, the sins had to come up to the dimensions where the great God, Universal Allah had to receive the recordings from these vessels, these chosen vessels. That's when the great God seen and divine order on earth. Divine order on earth. And we shifted into a new age, the age of Aquarius. These are from the recordings, but the great God, Universal Allah, is sitting pretty. It's sitting pretty. The great God, Universal Allah, has these earth vessels in the form of a human form to roll around in the mud with you guys, get beyond filthy, disgustingly filthy, and do the be more evil than you. Do the evil, but in a way that is divinely ordered. So it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. It truly is a pleasure to free my Mother Earth. Just because she doesn't have a human vessel doesn't mean anything. That just means her consciousness is, considering she's crystal, made of crystals. Mother Earth is made of crystals and water. Her consciousness is incomparable to a human consciousness. So this is why I fight for our Mother Earth, so that she can be free. Once again, so she can be free. If a human, you evil, wicked ass motherfuckers. Yeah, the evil ass, wicked ass motherfuckers that the 1% chosen by Satan, age of Pisces, the old world, with the Bible basic instructions before leaving Earth. The Bible refers to as the old world, the end of a world. And with the Hebrew, the pure translation of it, not the English, the extremely low frequency version. We're talking about the Hebrew, the purer version. The Hebrew refers to as an eon. A world is an eon, an age, an era of time. We had dinosaur worlds, we had giant worlds, we had ice age worlds just came and went. So those that had dominion over the old world, the previous eon, previous era of time, the age of Pisces, who had dominion over the earth, who created this shit, you're the targets. The great God, Universal Allah, sent these vessels to free Mother Earth. She is a mother, and you 1%. You expired 1%. The delete, demoted, right? Age of Pisces. How much do you love your children? You love your children. I mean, there's obviously exceptions to every rule. But you love your children. How much more does this Mother Earth want? Being she's a vessel that feels, she can feel everything. Any rain, man, any disruption to my program, just transfer it out. Return to sender by fire, the holy fire. Every area. Getting down and dirty with you fucking swine. So again, these vessels have we just are assigned to do the dirty work for the great God, Allah, and for our mother, because she wants to see her children. Her children are the inhabitants of the earth. Even you evil motherfuckers. I don't even know where the fuck these motherfuckers come from. What lab they fucking come from. Yeah, motherfucker, you got a soul evolution from a whole lab creation. That shit's crazy. You'll have plenty of suffering produce patience in your records. Don't worry. Yeah, how much more does Mother Earth deserve that? Deserve to see her inhabitants, aka her children, provided for. So we make this a reality for Mother, and we continue this work. We continue this work. So the great God just merely has us again to do whatever is necessary to shift the frequency of this earth, to shift it back to divine order. We do that by removing these records of trauma, of fear, because we know through the universal law of one, if we shift our frequency, then the whole earth shifts, right? That is law. If we shift our frequency, the whole earth shifts. So we do not entertain things that, again, detract from our frequency only for a limited time, and that's only to do polarity transmutation. Meaning, if I go in a situation, if I'm in a simulation, which a situation is a simulation, if I am in a simulation that there is no hope for me to survive, I have no choice but to make it to the other side or depart from the flesh. That's the only options that I have. So these are the simulations that the great God has allowed me to transcend. Simulations that there is no hope for a vessel like myself to, we'll just say thrive. I'm not willing to just survive. Everything that I've done in my ascension process, I know you blow that motherfucking smoke over here. Go collect that vessel, Satan. It's a mark on your back now. Every simulation that I have had the opportunity to participate in was only to lead me from being bankrupt spiritually. That's when you first come through that portal and Satan quite literally hops into a vessel, the vessel that's supposed to be delivering you from, the hospital or whatever. And that vessel is possessed by Satan directly, and that's the moment you become bankrupt. And the curse is put on the vessel, the infant, the baby vessel. The curse is put on there, and everything from there it just leads to total deprivation, bankruptcy. So the great God designed it that way so that I could learn through contrast, right? So I could learn through contrast. So I could experience through contrast. So we are on the North Pole. We're on the North Pole, and again, these simulations, they are to get you to your divine destiny. They are not to stay comfortable or stagnant in them, which we already know that's not what the world practices, but that's why the great God appoints these vessels. These vessels are designed to be able to shift the world, the frequency of the world. It just is what it is. So I'm, again, going back to what this recording is really about. It is about, all right, the great God, yes, the great God scripted this vessel as deaf, dumb, and blind, right? To protect this vessel, as to not, as not to destroy this vessel for the appointed time when this vessel would be needed. So, having some veils removed, I do understand how the satanic occult works. And it's basically, it's scapegoating. It's a bunch of scapegoating going on, manipulating and scapegoating is the name of the game. So, look, I put on the record probably about a year ago that absolutely sacrificing animals, sacrificing children, vessels, sacrificing pure innocent, sacrificing anything but yourself. That's a universal crime. It is illegal. It shall result in a new life sentence directly from the great God, universal Allah. So whatever your records get pulled and how you're participating and all that determines your new life sentence. Like offsetting, destiny swaps, karmic ancestry swaps, karmic debt transfers, all of that shit. I'm putting on the record, universal disclosure, I'm putting on the record, again, it is illegal. And anyone that is not appointed, divinely appointed to do such things, shall be prosecuted to the maximum extent of universal law. You got that right. Anyone not divinely appointed shall be prosecuted to the extent of universal law. This is a crime. You did the crime. It's written. It's recorded in your book of life. It's recorded when you did that crime. The universal crime, the crime against the great God, universal Allah, and it's recorded when you transfer that debt. What comes to mind, that gumbo, that diarrhea gumbo. That diarrhea gumbo that was fed to the public. There is a divine court hearing, a divine lawsuit. I petitioned that divine court hearing and lawsuit. I don't know if anyone else did. I would be interested to know if anyone filed a divine court hearing, a divine petition to the great God from seeing that record online. These people getting sick from eating from a family that has accrued, we don't know how much debt is on this family's record. Because look at David and Bathsheba. David and Bathsheba. The infant, that was a newborn. We ain't talking about you motherfuckers that got racks on racks on racks. Criminal charges. Universal criminal charges. We ain't talking about you motherfuckers. We talking about, that's a motherfucking newborn baby. The death, the departure from the flesh was ordered because of the father's sins, because of David's sins. And that was just one, I'm saying that's just one case. So y'all get judged with y'all spiritual, y'all, get the fuck out of here. You get judged with your spiritual lineages. Because you are, the closer you are physically to someone, whether it be through blood, right? Whether it be through blood or whatever. You share a collective consciousness together. So you have to be judged together because you are the same the same to similar consciousness. Everybody in the same bloodline is not even of the same similar consciousness. So how much more shall people be judged when they are the same consciousness? They are in similar consciousness and they're physically together. So you will be judged with your family and some of your friends. That is just the reality of it. That's what I saw in Gehenna when I was teleported there, I'm not gonna say for punishment, not for reprogramming. I was not feeling any of the torment that was going on there, but I was there to view it. And again, I put on the record before, and I continue to reinforce and reprogram. It was waves of torment. It's not that it was not physical waves, but the pain, it was like basically how a contraction, when a woman is bearing children, and it feels, the feeling, I'm not comparing the feeling, but when that contraction gets to the heightened point, that's where the most pain is. But then that contraction also subsides. It's the same thing like a wave. That wave goes super, super high and then it comes down. That's Gehenna. That's Gehenna. But it's overwhelming. It's like if if a wave washed over you, that's what they're feeling. And when I saw this, they were in groups. They were in groups, like it was like a family or some shit. And that's the only way that I can describe it. I heard the weeping and gnashing of the teeth. And it was like, that shit was crazy. But they wasn't on physical fire though. It was just like, I never been to Gehenna. I never been to Gehenna. I'm saying on the Gehenna on earth, on this earth. I never been there, but how it's described, it was just like that. It was like a cave, but you saw sporadic fires. You did see fires, but they had human form that were down there, but they were not on physical fire. They was just feeling that an overwhelming weeping and gnashing of the teeth, and they were screaming, they were wailing, like whenever that wave or that like a contraction would be got at the height, that's how much louder the screams and the wailing got. And then it subsided, and it just keeps on like that, keeps on like that. So yeah, again, understanding the satanic occult practices of just scapegoat and manipulate. I already called in a divine court hearing and a transfer for any, and I'm going to write a formal petition, just so that's on the record as well. But any of the 1% chosen by Satan, an age of Pisces, to have dominion over the age of Pisces earth, over the age of Pisces world, that I choose. Because look, this is just the facts. The great God, universal Allah, pardons who? Pardons and charges whom the great God, universal Allah, chooses. The only thing that I can do as this vessel is bring the, actually file the divine lawsuit. The same way if someone down here wronged me, or I've been wronged countless times, but I've never filed a physical lawsuit against someone here. I just, maybe the great God will tell me to do that at another time, but the great God, Allah, is like, now, don't worry about nothing physical, nothing material, no shadow law, justice, and none of that shit. They can't pay you for this. They can't motherfucking pay you for all the shit they